Hi, this is Philip Mason with Incredible Fathers. Excited to share a few insights with you about some of the sacrifices that fathers make. This is especially important for fathers who are starting off with their families, because in the beginning, when you're building a family, you make a lot of sacrifices, especially when children come along, and a new baby requires a lot of care and a lot of attention. And it just feels like, as a father, sometimes you put your hobbies on hold. You put a lot of the fun things that you used to do on hold, and even some of your work goals, those seem to be put on hold to some degree because you're focused so much on helping to build your family, and maybe you're sleep deprived, and maybe you're trying to do all these things that will help your family succeed and grow and develop. And it just feels like there's just not enough resources or time or money to do the things that you normally used to do when you're single or when you were married and it was just you and your spouse. But I want you to know that you're working on a late crop. So what that means is, some crops mature early and some crops mature late. So when we're talking in terms of our children, our children are a late maturing variety. And so what that means is we have to be patient and wait for the harvest. And so sometimes we put in that sacrifice up front. It's kind of front loaded. But if we're diligent in putting that sacrifice in early, we reap the rewards of that later on. And so be content with that sacrifice and be okay with having to put that time in with your children when they're really little. And there's a way to kind of overcome maybe some of those sacrifices that you feel like you were making early on. So let me give you an example. So I have one friend, he really likes scuba diving. So he got married, and once he started having children, he felt like his whole scuba diving hobby was on hold. But the neat thing is these children that we have, they eventually start growing up. And one of the best ways as a parent, as a father, that you can enjoy your hobbies and do some of the things that you like to do still is just to include your children in it. And that may not be true of every hobby, but in this case, with my friend, scuba diving is something that he can teach his children. In fact, he can start teaching them about it before they're able to do it, so that when they become able to do it physically, they can jump right in and enjoy it. In fact, some of the most talented people I've met have had parents who have helped them at a very early age develop some of their gifts and talents. And a lot of those gifts and talents are the exact same gifts and talents their parents had. It just kind of works out that way. And the parents pass on those skills and those talents and those abilities that they have to their children, give them a lot of practice, and they grow up in it. As they grow up in it, by the time they become adults, they're just really good at it. So that would be my recommendation to you as a father, is to think about what are those things that you really like to do, and then do them with your children. Those hobbies and skills that maybe you put on hold, find a way to teach them to your children. And you know what? If you do that, your children will love you for it. And they will adore you for it, because they want to learn and they want to work with you and they want to do the things that dad does. They really do. They look up to you and everything. And so if you can share your hobbies and your interests with them, that'll make all the difference in the world. So I have a lot of hobbies and interests, but I try to teach my children and involve my children in any time I possibly can. And even with work situations. So as an entrepreneur, some of my older children, if they're able to work with me and it's a situation that works, I have them come along and they work with me and do a lot of the things that I do. Or if I'm working at home, I try to include them in some way on some work project. But I like doing a lot of things. So it could be doing art, it could be building stuff, it could be fixing stuff. I love shooting bows and arrows, and then I love just shooting 22s and pistols and such. And so I like to include my children in that and give them an opportunity to shoot and learn how to be good marksmen. And that's just a lot of fun for me, and it's a good way for me to do my hobby, but to include them in it. So just be creative with it and have a lot of fun. And your children don't have to be a burden to you if you feel like they are, but just include them in the things that you're already doing. And that's really the most important thing a father can do, is to teach his children the things that he's doing, especially if what you're doing is fun and enjoyable and it's ennobling and it's educational and it helps build your children and helps them better prepared for the world around them. One of the things that's really sad to me is when children have no idea what their father does professionally. I've asked a lot of my friends over the years, what does your dad do? Or just people that I meet, I'll ask them, what does your father do? And a lot of times they can't tell me beyond 3 words what their father does. and even if they do know what it is that he does. And so as a father, include your children in your life. Teach them about what you do at work. Teach them about your hobbies. Teach them about what books you like to read. Teach them about what places you like to visit. Teach them about why you go to church. Teach them about why you like visiting certain museums. Teach them about woodworking. Teach them about how to use a knife. Teach them how to cook. Whatever it is that you like to do, include your kids in that. And you'll find that your life becomes much more fulfilling, and what you thought was a sacrifice or a burden in the past has now become a lot lighter, and it's become a joy in your life because you include your children as they grow and mature. They can participate in your hobbies and your interests, and you can use it as a great teaching opportunity to help them. So I hope this video has been helpful, and I hope that you will take some of these things and think about how can I use my hobbies and interests and share and teach those to my children so that they can participate and that they can have a sense of belonging, a sense of learning, a sense of growth, a sense of becoming more like Dad in all that they do. So this is Philip Mason with Incredible Fathers, and I'm signing off for now.